The brain, the gut, the heart, and the nervous system are being shown to be the predictors of our health. If having real health is of interest to you, please listen to learn more, and welcome to the Brain-Gut Connection podcast. Your host, Dave Bredhauer, will guide you through how everything inside us is connected, from our brain to our heart to our gut, how they all communicate, and how important your immune system is to this entire process. The Brain-Gut Connection podcast. Let us get right into today's episode.
Hey, welcome back to the Brain-Gut Connection. I'm Dave, and today we're talking about something that hits literally everybody eventually. A bad night's sleep. You've had one, I've had one, and today we're going to show you something most sleep advice completely skips. It's a two-way street with your gut, and once you see that, a lot of frustrating nights start making a lot more sense. Let's start with the direction most people never hear about, because almost every sleep tip you've ever read focuses only on the brain side of things: screens, caffeine, stress. Here's the piece that's missing. A study published in PLOS followed a group of adults using actigraphy, which is a wearable sleep tracker, not just a morning after questionnaire, alongside actual gut microbiome sequencing over multiple nights. That combination matters because it means the researchers had real objective data on both sides of the equation at the same time. What they found: people with more diverse gut bacteria, meaning a wider range of different bacterial species living in their gut, had better sleep efficiency and longer total sleep time than people with less diverse gut bacteria. Two specific bacterial groups, called Bacteroidetes and Firmicutes, were specifically tied to those sleep measures. Here's the piece that connects this to real biology instead of just a coincidence sitting next to another coincidence. Certain gut bacteria were linked to higher levels of a molecule called interleukin-6. That's an inflammatory marker your immune system produces, and it plays a documented, established role in regulating your sleep-wake cycle. Your body actually uses inflammatory signaling as part of how it decides when you get sleepy and when you wake up. So a less diverse, more inflamed gut environment showing up alongside worse sleep isn't a coincidence. It's an actual immune system pathway connecting the two systems directly. Your gut isn't sitting on the sidelines while you toss and turn at 2 a.m. It's part of the machinery that's supposed to be helping you fall asleep in the first place. It's worth pausing on that for a second because it flips a lot of standard sleep advice on its head. If two people have identical bedtime routines, same lighting, same screen habits, same wind-down ritual, but one of them has a more diverse gut microbiome than the other, the research suggests they may not get the same sleep outcome. The gut is quietly setting the baseline before your bedtime routine even gets a chance to work. Now here's the part that tends to surprise people, and it's the part that turns this from an interesting fact into something you should actually act on. This relationship runs in both directions, and in some studies, it runs fast. A review published in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences pulled together the existing evidence on sleep deprivation and gut health specifically, and found that restricted sleep reduces microbial diversity and shifts the balance between major bacterial groups, including that same Firmicutes to Bacteroidetes ratio we just talked about a minute ago. That shift is associated with immune dysfunction, more circulating inflammatory markers in the body, and downstream risk for things like impaired metabolism and cognitive decline over time. A separate meta-analysis published in the Journal of Sleep Research pooled together 20 different studies specifically on this question, and it confirmed the same basic pattern. Sleep deprivation lowers gut microbial diversity. Now, in the interest of being straight with you, instead of overselling this, here's an honest caveat. The researchers themselves pointed out the effect showed up more strongly and more consistently in rodent studies than it did in human studies so far. That's likely because the human studies conducted to date have used smaller sample sizes, which makes it harder to detect a clean signal. That's real science being careful about its own limits, and it's worth knowing it doesn't erase the finding, it just tells you where the evidence is strongest and where more research is still needed. There's also a stress hormone angle worth mentioning here, because sleep and stress physiology are tightly linked. Cortisol, your primary stress hormone, follows a daily rhythm that's closely tied to your sleep-wake cycle, and gut bacteria have been shown to influence how that stress hormone system behaves. So when sleep gets disrupted and gut diversity drops at the same time, you're not just dealing with one broken system, you're dealing with two systems that talk to each other, both moving in the wrong direction together. So think about what this actually means in your day-to-day life. A rough week of sleep isn't just leaving you tired and irritable at your desk. It's actively remodeling the ecosystem in your gut, the same ecosystem that's supposed to be supporting your mood, your immune system, and ironically, setting you up for your next night's sleep. It's a loop, and just like any loop, it can spin in the wrong direction just as easily as it can spin in the right one. So here's the practical piece, and this is where today's episode actually pays off for you. Because this relationship runs in both directions, you have two real levers to pull instead of just one, and pulling only one of them might not be enough to fix the problem on its own. Lever number one is the one you already know. Work on sleep hygiene directly. Keep a consistent bedtime and wake time, even on weekends. Dim your light exposure in the evening instead of staring into a bright phone screen an hour before bed. And cut off caffeine well before bedtime, earlier than you probably think you need to. Lever number two is the one almost nobody talks about. Work on gut diversity through food. A wider variety of plant-based fiber sources, different vegetables, legumes, whole grains, not just the same 3 foods on repeat feeds a wider variety of gut bacteria. And based on everything we just walked through, a healthier, more diverse gut appears to make good sleep easier to hold on to in the first place, instead of you having to white-knuckle your way through a perfect bedtime routine every single night. This is exactly why just go to bed earlier advice sometimes quietly fails for people who've already tried everything on the standard sleep hygiene checklist. If the gut side of the loop is already out of balance, it can be working against you, even when your bedtime routine looks perfect on paper. Fix both ends of the loop at the same time, and instead of fighting it every night, you start using it in your favor. One more practical note. This doesn't mean you need to overhaul your entire diet overnight or buy an expensive supplement to fix this. Small, boring, repeatable changes, swapping one processed snack for a piece of fruit, adding beans to one meal a week you didn't have them in before, add up over the weeks that gut bacteria actually need to shift in a meaningful way. This isn't an overnight fix. It's closer to compound interest. Thanks for being here. If this landed for you, share it with someone who could use it, maybe someone who's tried every sleep hack except this one. Make it a great day. I'm Dave. This has been The Brain Gut Connection.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of the Brain Gut Connection podcast. Stay connected with us directly through www.braingutconnect.com. You can also join the discussion on Instagram @BrainGutConnection and YouTube. If you would like to speak with us, please send us an email to dave@braingutconnect.com. And as always, thank you for listening. This concludes the most thought-provoking portion of your day. Until next time, stay happy, healthy, and educated.